We'll begin the attack there, at Hougomont.
Well, you can't recreate the Battle of Waterloo without Hougomont. It seems to be the most important farmhouse, so let's get working on it. So 3D printing, I've started to get into quite well, and I found Hougomont for $3 on Wargaming 3D. So $3 doesn't seem too bad. I did scale it down slightly, just because we're using one base representing a brigade for our Waterloo game, rather than the battalion like usual. So I think I scaled them down by about 20 or 30%. But despite that, the quality of the mini, very good. The windows, doors, everything's still there. The only slight drawback is the sort of the garden walls are quite short, to the point that if you don't have a thin flock, it will kind of fill up to the top, so it'll just, yeah, you kind of won't see the fence. I mean the wall. But apart from that, very good quality miniatures. Yeah, thumbs up to them. So if you're looking for an Hougomont to print, I'd definitely recommend these ones. And you could definitely scale it up as well. So there's quite a few different source images for the farmhouse. Some of them showing the main house in white, some of them showing it in turquoise. Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out which one is which. So I've just gone with sort of the main house itself in white, whitewashed, and the rest in sort of terracotta-y brick colour. So the white is ice white from Game Colour, and for the brickwork I just mixed up, I've got some red craft paint and some yellow craft paint. I just mixed them together to give me a sort of brick red, orangey type colour, and slap that on. Yeah, I used to have Hougomont as a larger one. I think it was probably a 15mm building. Maybe not. It might have been sort of true scale 6mm. Actually, this was quite a long time ago, back in about 2007-8. So yeah, it would have probably been true scale 6mm, and that was a very, very lovely piece. I'm quite annoyed that got lost. But yeah, that was very nice. This, I think if I scaled it up, would actually be pretty close to that in quality. So yeah, definitely appreciate this, whoever it was that actually crafted this piece. So yeah, as I've mentioned in a few other videos over the last few months, we're building up to doing a Battle of Waterloo game. Yes, we have lost some of our miniatures over the years, so when we did our big one back in the about 2006, 2007, each of our bases was representing a battalion, and we had enough to do the entire battle. Unfortunately, we don't have that anymore. However, we do have enough so that each base can represent a brigade. So that's what we're working up towards. Hence, I am printing the farmhouses, and we're starting to get things lined up for it. What we'll probably do to start with is have a quick battle where we just test and make sure everything actually works, which I'll record so that you guys can see it. And then we'll do another one where we truly landscape and build the board and make it actually look the part, and then have a proper war game on there where it all looks, hopefully, spectacular. So next up, it's the roof tiles. And so again, I decided that I would do the roof tiles for the white building in grey, and I would do the rest of them in that sort of terracotta-y clay colour. So again, I mixed it up using the craft paint and just made it slightly lighter than the walls. That's literally the only difference that I've done here. And then once I put it on, I'm not sure if you would call it feathering, but I in effect drew up the roof with the paintbrush, just creating small lines, so that you can kind of get the impression that there's rows of tiles on there. Although I didn't go crazy on that, it's not like I've done every individual one, just the way that I used the brush to try and pick out that sort of, rather than just a flat paint job. It's got, I'm saying this with air quotes, texture, but I hope you get the idea. And it's actually been pretty nice painting up some actual miniatures. I mean, I like crafting and building scenery. It's something that I've always enjoyed. I enjoy that hobby within the wider wargames hobby. But at the same time, it is nice sometimes to just have actual pieces kind of designed and created which are sort of pristine and crisp. And it's nice to paint those as well. I've got no problem doing both. Some friends of mine, they're like, oh, why would you want to buy finished things or sort of 3D printed ones when you can make them? Both ways for me are enjoyable. I enjoy the building, but then sometimes I find you can get a slightly better finish, at least for my standard anyway, by printing or buying from an actual skilled builder out there. So both ways work. Let me know what you think below. Do you think you would only want to craft yourself, or would you be open to 3D printing or buying finished products, or vice versa? So for the roof of the house itself, the grey, we're using uniform grey from Army Painter, and just pick out those different roof tiles. Once I'd finished doing the base coats on all of the different roofs and walls, I washed the entire building using a dark brown, but very dark, it's like 2 parts brown to 1 part black wash over the entire thing to really dull it down. And then I went back in with these same colours that I'd used before and just picked out a couple of the edges, but very little work. I did use a bit of leather brown from Model Colour just to pick out doorways, but that was about it. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. You can kind of see the garden there, the wall is quite small when you compare it to the flock, but that's just because I scaled the whole thing down. If you would print it out as it came as the STL file at 100% size, you wouldn't have that problem. So yeah, hats off to the designer, really good quality product. I can't wait to see it on the table, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.